Awesome. So again, happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. It's Summit Week, you guys. Raise of hands. Who here is this your first? And I'm not talking about last year. If you came to Summit last year, I love you so much. But like this is your very first like Beachbody Summit experience. Oh my gosh, keep those hands up. I got to see this. This is so cool. Look at how many newbies. I love it. I love it. It's so exciting. If you've been to Summit before, in the chat, tell us what city was your very first Summit, and tell us like one pro tip you would give to somebody who it's their very first time, so that all of our newbies can get some info from all of y'all who didn't have your hands up. I love this. You guys, last year was such a special event. It was so special, so unique. And if you got to be a part of it or you witnessed it from afar, my gosh, like we cannot duplicate that again. But this is going to be a treat. It's been 3 freaking years, 3 years. And I've been asking a lot of you guys this last week in the coach collab, as well as in Inspire Beauty, to kind of reflect back on where you were 3 years ago. But like for one thing, y'all, 3 years ago, if you were on this call with me, I would have been in California on the West Coast. It would have been like super sunny out because it was like time difference, right? It was like way earlier in the day. And life just looked a lot different. And our team looked a lot different. And all I can say is over the last 3 years, growth looks good on us. It just looks good. I'm so excited for how much we've grown and just where we're headed beyond. Guys, we've got a couple different people speaking tonight, kind of sharing some tidbits. So I'm going to pass the mic over and we're going to kick this off talking a little bit about the schedule, making sure that you guys are getting all of your questions answered. If you do have questions as they're speaking, make sure that you drop them in the chat so that we can get everything answered for you guys in real time, so that when you walk away tonight, you feel not only like maybe butterflies, maybe excited about going to Summit and getting to experiences. That's awesome. Like you should have that, but I also want you to feel like confident that you're taken care of and you're in good hands, and that you're about to have an incredible freaking week that's going to just like be the jumping off point of an incredible rest of 2022. So Kristen, I'm going to kick it over to you and you can walk us through scheduling.
Awesome. Ladies, oh my God, I just can't even tell you like how excited I am. I've already got like chills as like Britt was like gearing you guys all up for this just now. And I just like the one thing that I am super excited about, and I didn't type it in the chat, but I am so excited for the energy that you guys are going to feel at Summit. It is like electrifying, like being amongst all the people. So it's an amazing feeling. So I'm super excited for you guys to experience all of that. And whether you guys are going to be joining Olivia virtually or you are going to be in person, you guys need to watch the National Wake Up Call from today, because it's all about plugging into Summit. Nicole did a really good job of talking to us about being present and just being there in the moment. Like, yes, we know we're going to want to take pictures and like all that kind of stuff during the fun. And Britt's going to touch a lot on that with social media. But like when you are in your sessions and you are in the general, like where everything is launching and stuff, like quick, take a pic, but then like be there and like listen and absorb it and just let it soak in. Get those notebooks out, get the pens out, probably a couple because they're going to run out of ink. Like, so be present, plug in, just like we talk about plugging into this community. Plug into the bigger community that you are about to experience. Plug into those trainings, plug into the events that are all going on around us, and just listen. Just open up your ears and listen to everything that's going on around you, because it's going to be so fulfilling for you. So in regards to schedules, you guys have the schedules that Britt shared with us. We are actually going to be printing that all off for you guys in the hotel room. So you're going to have hard copies to look at. And I like to think of it as just as we plan out our week for like, work and like how we're going to work our business and everything, like you need to plan out how you're going to do and attend and be present for Summit. So like looking at those schedules and planning ahead, like, okay, we're going to get in, we got the ballpark, we're going to get back at this time. How much hours of sleep do I need to prepare for? Like what time do I need to get up in the morning? Like every little thing, just like you plan for at home. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get up and do my workout at 5 a.m. Like, what does your sleep schedule look like? This is no different, you guys. It's just a business event that you're planning it for. So look at those schedules and kind of plan ahead, like 24 hours already. Like when you get in on Wednesday, look at that hard copy schedule and know what you need to attend that night, but also game plan for the morning. Like, what do I need to prepare for, right? So awesome. Thank you, Ashley, for printing off those schedules for us. That's going to be so helpful. In regards to the sessions and the tracks, like, let's talk a little bit about that, because Nicole, again, she really honed in on that today during the National Wake Up Call. Be present and listen. There's going to be so much good things to take in and like ideas that you are going to come away from. She gives some really good tips about like how to do your note taking, like leaving the first couple pages blank so you can write like that one thing that like really spoke to you during that training and like write that down on an action list. Or maybe it's just like something they said that was really inspiring, like write that down on the first couple pages so you're not thumbing through like 10 pages of notes, you know, like when you get home. So put the phone down, be present. This is literally going to be your personal and professional development this week. This is a business trip. You guys, we are here to be together, but we are also here to learn, and we're also here to grow, and we're also here to take action when we go home, right? So really like dive into that. You guys have invested a lot of time. You've invested resources to take care of the kiddos or make sure that you've got your breast pump along, Amanda. Like, you guys have invested time, right, to make this work. So like invest that time also to like walk away and really fill your cup and know what action you're going to take going forward. A couple of things with the sessions and the tracks. So when I go into like learning sessions like this, like when I have hospital learning or anything like that, I don't always like to sit by my coworkers. And that might sound really mean or sound offending to some people, but sometimes I learn best when I'm away from them and I can just like totally be in my own little cubicle and like headphones on and just listening to that speaker and what they have to say. So by any means, like, do not feel bad if you are not going to sit with a teammate in your track, or you just want to be, you see a group of people that's like on fire, like you can see their energy, right? Like, go sit by them. Like, that's okay. Don't feel offended if you're not all sitting in a big group. Like, that is totally okay. Because you want to build on that excitement, right? So like, that's totally key. Outside of sessions and tracks, like we have lunches. Some of you I know got your the box lunches that they're preparing. And those of you that haven't, plan ahead, because you know what? There's like 25,000 of us in the city. So it's not going to be just, you know, a 10-minute walk to like get a quick bite to eat for lunch. Like, get there as soon as your track is done and like plan to be there, you know, an hour to 2 hours. So make sure that you're planning appropriately for those dinners and those lunches kinds of things. Dinners, as in our Emerald dinner, the first time mixer dinner, our cocktail party. So cocktail party, we all know it's formal, black, like come up to the rooftop, get ready to have some drinks and socialize and get excited for an amazing opening session. Like, y'all, there's gonna be so much information dropped in that session. It's gonna be so exciting. But the Emerald dinner, so we know what time that is, we know where that is and all that kind of stuff. Those of you who aren't attending that Emerald dinner at the same time is the first time mixer, like cocktail party or whatever they're having. So those of you who aren't going to the Emerald dinner, like, link up with the other teammates and like go and check that out. This event and any other event, like if you go to Super Weekend or anything, you guys, this is the time to network. Like, find other coaches that are, you know, in the same boat as you are right now, or have the same goals, or just whatever that may be. Like, it's okay to have friends outside of our team and like have a success friend outside of our team. Like, that's going to help you grow even more maybe. So use those events and like those times where you're standing in line for lunch, right? Like, chalk up conversation with those people, because maybe they're from somewhere near you, or like you have like the same like famous like trainer like that you can't wait to like work out with on Friday morning or something, you know. Like, find a way to communicate and converse with those other people, because it's a great way to network. I think that is like the biggest things that I kind of thought of as I was like reminiscing on being there in 2019 and like throughout the last couple of years with like sessions and stuff. It's just, make sure that you guys are planning, make sure you allow enough time when you're going to get your food and stuff, and make sure that you're present and you're just like around the fire. So, you know, you're not going to offend anybody or whatever. Just go sit where you want to sit, take it all in, and just be ready to like put it all into action when you guys leave. It's going to be like electrifying, seriously. So I hope you guys are all so excited.
Yay, I love it. Okay, if there's anything on the scheduling, you guys, that you still have questions on or anything like that, drop it in the chat. This is your time to make sure that you get all those questions answered. All right, Ashley, take it away for us and walk us through the packing list a little bit, yes, but we're going to shift over to packing. Ashley's going to take us through that. And if you guys have any packing like type of questions, this is a great time to ask them.
Yeah. All right. So I think the biggest things I wanted to touch on for the checklist that I gave, I know I had kind of broken it down per day. So if you have any questions about like clothing or anything like that, like Britt said, just drop it in the chat. The biggest things I think will be to have like portable chargers because we are going to be, it gets to be long days. We'll be up at the butt crack of dawn and then we'll be out until it's dark out. So I know that we'll like have opportunities in between to kind of go to our rooms and get ready and such. But having that portable charger along is super important for when we're in the dome and at sessions and things like that, because that's like a great time if we're just soaking in the moment and taking notes and stuff to like plug your phone in, set it down for a minute and let it charge. Let's see what else. Pens and a notebook. We were talking about that before, like you might need a couple pens. I know personally, I'm going to probably bring like a fanny pack with me and just carry my notebook in. So I'll have a couple pens in there and whatnot. But if you haven't gotten a notebook yet, go get one. You're going to fill it up. I get a new one each time because it's always just filled with notes. And there's just so many good things. So those are probably like the main ones. Like I said, the chargers, notebooks, pens. I know Leia and Brittany, I think both came in and shared like what's accepted in the dome and things like that. So read through that. I believe it's backpacks and purses you can have in there. So feel free to take anything that you would take to like a conference. That's how I thought of it the first time that I went. But really we don't have to overcomplicate it or overpack for that stuff. If you have a pen and a notebook and the portable charger, I think you guys will be set for the day. And then if you guys, just a side note too, if you guys are buying anything specifically for this, like keep your receipts because all of this can be used as tax write-offs for your coaching business. So I have a little envelope that I keep with all my Beachbody receipts in. So this one will go on the Summit one, and that way it's just easier to break down and keep track of what we bought, for our businesses. What else here? Packing. So little side note as well for social media, feel free to like share what you guys are packing. I was kind of slacking. I'm still trying to, I made the checklist, but I just have not packed all my stuff yet. So I have stuff like laying around in my room. But I did like a little poll today. I had a couple outfits for like the different dinners. And so I just kind of went in and was like, which one should I wear type thing. But feel free to share kind of your process or like, busy moms, like how you're fitting this in and like what you're doing during the daytime to like get prepped for this. And just anything, like I saw Britt also had a story today too with her like letters, just like whatever is sticking out to you that it may seem like super obvious, like, oh, I'm just packing this stuff like I normally do for a vacation. But the people who are following you along on your journey, they're excited because it's like you're taking them with you step by step. So I would, highly encourage you if you haven't yet to just get on and show, things that you're doing leading up to us getting there. What else? I think those were the main things. Like I said, if there's any questions about like clothing or outfits or anything like that, just drop it in the chat and we'll answer it for you.
I love that. And those are some awesome tips, you guys. I'm going to talk about content here in a second, so I'm not going to piggyback too much, but it's so important that you don't just all of a sudden wake up in St. Louis, right? And then have like this selfie. Like that's just not how this works. stories are exactly that. You are taking people through a story. And if anybody knows story writing from growing up and having a good old fashioned story read to you as a child, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And we are right now in that beginning. So make sure that you are taking advantage of anything and everything that can be content that you can pour out to other people. All right, we've got a lot of people who it is your first time. And like I said, I've been going back down memory lane and really thinking, and Amanda, I loved seeing you say that like 3 years ago, you didn't even have kids. Like life looked totally different for your family, right? Back then. So it's just insane. And 3 years seems like a quick amount of time, and it has passed sometimes pretty quickly. Other times it's dragged on in the last 3 years, but truly it does go by in the blink of an eye. But so much for so many of you, I'm sure, is different than who you were in 2019. So I want to take you guys back with Annie now. She's going to kind of give you a rundown of like, if she was going to her first summit all over again, what would Annie want to know? So basically she's taking us back to the beginning and giving us some pro tips. And I promise you guys, even if this is not your first summit, you're going to want to hear all of this. So Annie, I'm going to mute and you can take it away now.
Okay. So I went to Summit 3 years ago in Indy. I was not on Inspire Beauty yet. Amanda Stone and I were on a different team. And Amanda wasn't able to go. So it was just me and Amanda's coach. And I was, when I watched Britt's live the other day on Facebook, talking about like, just thinking about all of her past summits and like her badges and like her ribbons on her badge and like just how much has changed. I like just had this like, not really an epiphany, but I was like, holy moly, like the past 3 years, me at Summit then versus me at Summit this year are drastically different. So a couple things that I think are just really important to be thinking about and focusing on when it's, even if it's not your first summit, even if like, let's say you did go to Indy in 2019, the last time it was live, but like maybe you didn't have a lot of growth since then, or maybe you had an immense amount of growth. Like the stuff I'm going to share with you is still stuff that like I'm going to keep in the front of my mind this year. The first like main thing, which is like very prevalent to me right now, is even if you don't think that you want what the speakers have or what the speakers are telling you is possible, even if you right now are like, no, I don't even want to like coach. Like I like being a preferred customer, or I like being a coach and like just having my friend here, whatever. Even if you don't think that's ever going to be you and that's not something you are ever going to want, one day you might. Like 3 years ago, it was right after my first year teaching, and there were so many coaches that like top 10 elite coaches that would just speak about how they left the classroom, but they're still using their teaching degree, like just in a completely different way, and how they've like exceeded their teaching income. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, I'm so glad that they were able to do that. That gives me like so much encouragement, but like, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want to do that. So even though we were both teachers, like it wasn't what I wanted. So I kind of not blocked it out, but like, I wasn't like scribbling frantically when they were talking, even though they were giving like amazing advice. Cause I was like, well, that's not where I want to go with this. But 3 years later, I just resigned from teaching and this is what I'm doing. And so when they were talking to me 3 years ago, I wish I had been like, well, you know, that could be a possibility. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years. So I think to have an open mind of like, you may be in this one place of this is just a hobby for me. This is not what I want to do. This is, you know, I really love the community. I really love coming to these events, but what they're talking about is not me. Don't rule it out, because even if you think that right now, it could change, it could not, but if it changes, you'll want to have the expertise that they give you. The second thing, which Kristen kind of touched on, is networking. I I think it's really easy to, one, compare ourselves to other coaches from other teams and from people who are on stage talking or whatever, but other teams are not your competition. They're your coworkers. Like, we all work for the same company. And like, I feel, I've never worked in sales in another capacity, but I feel like if I'm working in sales, like, we're all going to the same PD, because like same professional development, because we're all coworkers, we're all working towards the same thing. So I would want to talk to my coworkers about what we're learning and how we can grow in it and give each other ideas. So it's really easy to stay funneled on like Inspire Beauty, like, this is my team, this is our team's chance to do this, but there's going to be tens of thousands of other coaches who may even be more similar to you than the people on Inspire Beauty that you are supposed to meet on this trip to work with. So other teams are not your competition, they are coworkers. And like we've seen, like all last year, a lot of our team calls, like Britt would exchange with people she knows in the network for them to talk to us and for her to talk to their teams, so that our team could grow more from the expertise of other teams. The last big point, which kind of ties back to the first one, is the success that you see is not unattainable. When they announce like the top coach for 2021, or they announce the Legacy Club, which is like, they'll talk about it, but like $1 million plus earners, like, it's very easy to put that on a pedestal, which, yeah, it kind of should be put on a pedestal. That's a lot of hard work, but that's still possible for anybody watching them. The only reason that they're going on stage is to prove and recognize that it is possible. So that goes back to not having a closed mind, where even if you are not thinking about doing this even part-time or whatever, if this is just a hobby, if you are in awe of those people who are talking to you and those people who are being recognized and those people who walk across the stage, like, they all started as coach. Like, I have my badge thing here right now, and all it says is coach. All it says is coach, because 3 years ago, I did not have a single coach. We didn't have preferred customers. I didn't have a discount coach under me. Like, I was just coach. And every single person that talks to you this week, that's on that stage, that gets recognized, that has made 7 figures, started with just the label of coach. So if you're to get anything from me right now, if you don't think you want it, you might eventually. Network, make friends, find some new coworkers, and what you see is not unattainable. They started exactly where you started.
So good, Annie. And you guys, that's like the fun thing about finding other people in the network that have like similar, like, I've found best friends, like life best friends, like not like Beachbody's fun and all, but like we do life together. Like, that's what I've found through networking at things like Super Weekends and Summit, and just getting myself out of my comfort zone and talking to people. On that same note, you guys, I know some of you in the chat have been talking about guest speakers and this and that you follow. If you see somebody that you follow on social and you admire them and you love them and they're just your tribe, your jam, and you want to take a picture, go ask them to take a picture. Like, I just want you guys to remember that every single person that's going to be in St. Louis puts their pants on one leg at a time. You know what I'm saying? We're all human. You guys are going to see real quick, like, I'm just a normal, I'm just a normal everyday person. Okay. And I think that's important to remember, though, is this idea of pedestal. Like, we got to start putting other things on the pedestal. not just the dreams, not just the people and the accolades and the shiny things, but what if we put the action on the pedestal? What if we put consistency on a pedestal? What if we put confidence on a pedestal, right? Like, what if we started putting building a freaking legacy for my family on a pedestal and rising up to that calling instead of putting people who are inevitably broken and also change their minds, right? Anybody here ever follow somebody and you thought they were like the bee's knees and the best like Beachbody coach ever, and then they left? Went to another company, or maybe just stopped altogether and did something else, right? People change their mind too. So like those people you put on pedestal, let's all remember that they are people. So I love compliments. I'm sure you guys do too. So I'm like TSA, y'all. You see something, you say something. You think something, go say it. If somebody you admire so much, speak it out of your mouth. You never know what that would do for a coach, even if you think that they have the most confidence in the world. So just remember that. I'm going to talk really quick about, I don't know, for like 55 to more like 75 minutes for you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk about social media. I'm going to talk about content, and I'm going to talk about this as in terms of a business trip, because it is. And I love that we have a lot of preferred customers who are coming to Summit this year. Y'all, I'm going to call you up. You should be coaches. Like if you're coming to Summit and you love Beachbody that much, like, hello, you should be a coach, but I'll get to that later this week. But content, you guys, is so important, which is why we've been already kind of breadcrumbing how you can start sharing content. I don't want you giving this bird's eye, like 50,000 miles above in the sky view of what this team is. And an example of that would be like a picture of this at the end of the day, at the end of tonight. And then it just says, love my team. That's a bird's eye view, because every follower watching that is like, that's nice for her. But that's not what we do. What we do is we do network marketing, which means we are professional friend makers, we network, and we market, which means we have a strategy behind what it is we're posting and sharing about, because the strategy has an end goal, right? And so what is your end goal? At the end of this week, do you want somebody to join you? Would you love to add energy into your bod group? Do you want to bring on new coaches? Do you have a rank goal? And maybe you don't have that goal yet because we haven't gotten there yet. And so you're kind of waiting for like somebody to like stoke the fire, and that's okay. That's totally okay. But what's your end goal? Because everything I'm posting right now, my end goal is I want this team to blow up. I want new people on this team who are freaking sold out about being here. Not because I don't love you guys. I just want more. I just think it's cool to have more and more and more, because I see the ripple effect of what you guys are doing when that happens. If this was just me, myself, and I for the last 9 years, I would be like really sad right now, because we would not be doing anything of any value or worth. But the fact that you guys have trusted in me and then have trusted in the people who have trusted in me, and ripple and ripple and ripple, well, now we're doing something of value. And so what is your end goal? Consider that for yourselves. And then document with intention for that. Yeah. Maybe your end goal is that you just really want people to know that you're a coach and you've never really shared about it before, and you're finally like excited to kind of get the wheels turning on that. Well, own it. Just because you shared your story once this week doesn't mean that that's enough, right? The thing is too, is that your content is going to help others realize that they can do this too. When we do that bird's eye view, people don't know they can join this. But when your content is intentional, others can recognize that this is something that they can be a part of. And you guys, my friends, you're the gateway for them to show them that that's possible. If you're like, nobody wants to join me, you are not explaining it well enough that people can, right? It might be the me show. And so this week it gets to be the we show. And this is a journey. Like I said, you don't want to just show up in St. Louis and all of a sudden, like, I'm doing Rise and Jives with like live with my team. Like, you should already be talking about how that's exciting for you, because every Friday we do this thing called Rise and Drives, and it's always through a screen, and it's always like just sharing each other's stuff. But for one Friday of the year, one magical Friday of the year, we actually get to do it all together, right? So stuff like that, taking people on the journey. The other thing I'm going to nudge you on is do not sleep on posting while you're there. I've seen it time and time again where people get to Summit, and this is exciting. Seeing one another and hugging one another, you guys, it's so exciting, and being together. And like, I'm an advocate. You will see, I preach this and I walk it and I talk it. And I promise you that this thing is, it might be in my hand for a quick boom and then it goes away. I promise you that, because that's like how I try to live my life, right? And I know that I need to get content out. So for me as a business owner, I'm going to create space. There are going to be times where I might have to step away. I might have to hide in the bathroom for like 5 minutes, y'all. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm going to go use the restroom. And I'm in there like, okay, like do what you got to do. But you need to make sure that the content happens while you're there, because otherwise you're going to miss the opportunity. You're going to miss the energy. And if you wait till you get home so that you can like wrap your thoughts all around, like I hear this all the time, y'all, and you can just raise your hand if you know that I'm calling you out, because I hear this year after year where it's like, I can't get my words right now. I'm going to get, you guys, like you clutch your pearls all about it too. Like you're the first one that's ever said it to me. You're like, there's just so much to say. I can't craft a post. I'm gonna have to get home and think about it. I'm like, no, that's like, you could craft like 17 posts, like off of what you're thinking about. Just say something, right? Yeah. And thank you, Leah, in the chat, take the stinking pics. Annie said it. Don't be afraid to take the selfies. The other thing is, you guys, we are GAWs, grown women, y'all, okay? That's what we are. So if I'm taking a picture with a group and you want to be in the picture with the group, get in the picture with the group, okay? No one at Summit is responsible for your happiness. I love y'all so much, but like, if you want to maximize the week and have the best, like shiniest experience, and you want to go away being like, man, I couldn't have given it a fingernail more, then like jump in. Be present, lean into that stuff. Some ideas, Ashley shared a bunch for preparatory work, but you know, you can even talk pre-travel about vulnerabilities. We've got so many mamas who are making sacrifices. You can talk about that. If as you're leaving, like leaving for the airport and maybe your family's dropping you off, talk about that. Tell us at the airport, what does that mean to leave your babies behind? And but what do you hope to be able to show them that mama's doing and instill in them, right? Or maybe there's a sacrifice that your spouse is making, or I don't know, right? Like, you know better than I do what's happening, but share those vulnerabilities. Maybe you're super duper nervous. Why? Talk about it. Those are the things that are going to draw people in and make people feel like this is something they could be a part of versus, again, that bird's eye view. When we get there, you guys, y'all, Annie shared her first one. Here's my very first one. Okay. I love it. My little first one. And here's the coolest part about this, you guys. This is a gift. This is a stinking gift. Your preferred customer ribbon, your coach ribbon, your emerald ribbon, shall you have one? Or maybe, I don't even know, your 1-star, I don't know, ribbon. Like whatever ribbon you have around your neck, first of all, no one cares. Second of all, okay, I'm just gonna, like, seriously, no one cares. But second of all, y'all, I want you to own what you have around your neck, because the beautiful part is when I had this ribbon around my neck, I knew I was going somewhere. I knew I was going somewhere. The train was leaving the station and you can hop on a board with me. Toot, toot. You know what I'm saying? So this is you. This is future you being so insanely grateful. Like, you know what I'm saying? In a couple years, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, wow, thank God I didn't quit. Wow, thank God that I stuck it out. I just kept going. Like, you will be so grateful for future you's growth. So where you're at in your business, be proud of it. Own it. Even if you've plateaued, trust and believe. Y'all, diamond. I plateaued for like 6 years in my business, okay? And I'm currently in a stinking plateau. It happens, y'all, right? That's why I say that doesn't matter. Like Annie said, the pedestal, right? That's a self-imposed thing. So I want you to be proud, celebrate where you are, and have faith and trust that if you leave Summit and put your head down and go do something about changing that you absolutely can, right? Don't just be a dreamer. Our whole theme is also be a doer. So go find your name. There's these giant banners that'll say Emerald Coach. They'll have everybody's name who's an Emerald Coach. Find your downline. If your downline's not their leaders, take pictures of their names too. Text them. I believe in you. I see your name up here. I want you here next year, right? Like, show your people who can't even be there that their name's on the stinking banner, and dang, like, right? You should be here. So go find your name, go do those things. Let's see. Let me pull up. I want to share really quick this document because this is gold. This is money. Y'all, there's a crew of 15-star coaches who get together. It's really all the 15-star coaches, which is the highest you can go in Beachbody. Is 15-star, maxes out after that, okay? These superstar coaches, they created this marketing calendar. This is gold. Absolute gold. And if you have been following a little bit of it, you still have time. You can still implement these things. And these things do not just have to be in stories. They could be posts, they could be reels, they could be stories, it could be on Facebook, Instagram, they could be in all the places, right? You could do multiple things in one day because they don't all have to be the same form of media. Okay. But during Summit, like, let people know you're on day one. What's your agenda today? Like Kristen said, Ashley and her are putting the agenda in your hotel rooms. So maybe you do like a boomerang of the schedule and it's day one, right? Or it's day two, and your followers can see what you're up to that day. Airport pics. You can even find fun airport reels, like those ones where, people, I don't know, Kristen can teach you how to do it. I don't know how to do it, but the ones where people are like at home, but then like all of a sudden they're like in paradise, right? Like you could do one of those fun pics, or like jumping at the airport and then you land in your, I don't know, at our workout on Thursday with us, right? So just think of some creative things to do and don't be shy, like do the things, right? Super trainer workouts, but don't just share like, oh my God, I freaking love Joel Freeman. He's so sexy. No. Tell me the story behind Joel, y'all. And if you need some ammunition, I just shared one the other day about how Joel was the trainer when I tapered off depression meds and gained 17 pounds. That was the program that I started to start my journey to get to where I am now. That was my journey of healing, right? And so talk about the story behind the actual trainer. What have they done for you in your life? I know you all have them. After a session that spoke to you, you can share one of your learnings, add value to the people who are following you. Again, your brain is going to be like so mush, but one thing, okay, just like they were talking about in your notebooks, like, so on the National Wake Up Call today, she said, leave some pages blank in the front. And I agree, leave some pages blank in the front, but I'll tell you what I like to do with them later. But what I do next to something that's important that I want to take action on, or that I want to write a post on, is I put a star next to it. So that when I get back to my room later that night, all I have to do is open my notebook and be like, okay, that's the star. And then it's easier for me to craft the post, right? This one is post Summit, but like, or on the way leaving Summit, but interview coaches. You can do like spotlights. Like how amazing would it be to get a transformation from your new success sister that you meet at Summit and interview them and find out like about their start and what were they nervous about and what did they learn, right? And really capture people's stories while you're there. All the things. This is the other thing. Do not just fall off. When you get home from Summit, it's not enough to just be like, Summit's over, join my boot camp, right? Like on Sunday, are you taking a rest day? Do you need a veg out day? Is your brain mush? Do you have is your brain like too many tabs open? Talk about it. Share that, right? Let your followers come home with you. And then on Wednesday, when shockingly, like life is back to normal and like the kids are like annoying you again, but yet you have these dreams now on your heart and this big business that you want to build, talk about it. Talk about the hard. Talk about how there's a sacrifice you're going to have to make, right? So those are just a couple tips, during Summit, to extend this just a little bit further. During Summit is a great time to create a list of the people who are watching you and engaging with you. Okay. It's not super time consuming. These are not things that you have to do during sessions, right? But you can take note of who's watching and create lists. Be on social with intention during Summit. Again, I think Kristen talked about it, but during sessions is not the best time to be like Angry Birds or whatever you're doing. Because guys, if I was here on this Zoom with you right now and I wasn't talking, let's say someone else had the mic and I was doing this, what would it look like I was doing? Does it look like I'm working a business, or does it look like I'm ignoring what's happening in front of me? Yeah. And it looks the same for you too. So be open to what's happening around you. Obviously, there's going to be moments where you want to capture something. Yeah, but put the phone down and come back to it later. Bring people into our Snoop group. I've already opened that up. Join Inspire Beauty and Never Look Back. That group all week long, we're going to be sharing all the highlights of what we're doing. Okay. And talking about why we do it too. So make sure that like the people that you are talking to, that you're adding them into that group so that they get like the actual behind the scenes look at what's happening at Summit. You can use your link daily. Do you have a coach form? Or at the very least on your Google form, do you have a Google form? If you don't have a Google form, that might be a to-do list thing for tomorrow. But at the very least on your Google form, do you have an option for them to join your team if you don't have a coach form for them to fill out, right? So make sure that that link is something you daily can use in there to drive people to filling that out, to collect more names and more interest. And like I said, create space to craft posts and invite people post summit. We have a sneak peek group. It'll be wrapping up. Join Inspire Beauty and never look back, right? So you're adding people in. This is the week. If you wait until next week to add people in, you've missed the boat. You are simultaneously, that's why I keep saying this is a business trip. You are simultaneously enjoying this business in the flesh and working this business in the flesh. And it's pretty stinking cool. Okay. You're going to be so inspired that you're not going to want to do anything but invite people. Next Wednesday, the 20th at 6 p.m. Central, we're having a coach sneak peek happy hour, girls night and happy hour. So that's going to be the culmination of it all. So at the very least, if somebody misses the sneak peek, but they watched you all week and they're excited and interested and you invite them coming back from Summit, then you can plug them in on Wednesday to that. And like I said, transition home and share, but also cast your vision. Where are you going? You don't need to just cast your vision with your followers. I want you to consider this too, you guys. You can show your bod groups what's happening. When you go into a workout, you could take a clip while you're in the workout and they are seeing their favorite trainer and you're actually there working out with them. Why not give your bod group a front row seat to that too? So don't forget about them. Don't forget about your team pages and making sure that everybody is connected to the energy and the vision of where you're going. Yeah. And I think that's really it. But like I said, the theme, you guys, is not just dreamer. Beachbody came up with this awesome theme called Team Up, Dream Up. And I get it. I know where they're coming from. It's going to be on your lanyard. You're going to love it. And I get it. But when I talked to the leaders, it wasn't enough for us. It fell a little flat. And for me, I don't think it's enough to dream because summit after summit after summit after summit, summit after summit after, right? I see people who dream and I believe in their dreams. I believe in each of your dreams. And then something happens. Life happens. A global pandemic happens. Someone looks at you wrong in traffic. I don't know what happens. Like things happen, right? And all of a sudden, our dreams get put to the back burner. Like they never mattered. Like what we said didn't ever matter in the first place. And I think that that's a cop-out. I think it's a cop-out. And I think we're better than that. And so our heart was not to simply just be dreamers, but to be a tribe of women that are also simultaneously doers. The ones who dream, absolutely, but also the ones who go home and they take freaking action. So this week you are going to have massive dreams. I'm certain of it. I'm certain you are going to be inspired by somebody. I'm certain that there's going to be a moment where you're like, why not me? I'm certain there's going to be a moment where you think something and then you immediately talk yourself out of it. Like maybe, I can't do that. Right. But the difference maker, what gets me sitting here 9 years later, as our team continues to grow and grow and grow, isn't that Brittany sat back for 9 years and dreamt a lot. It's that I got up every day and I took freaking action, not massive action, nothing unattainable, just the basics every single day for 9 years. And if I can do it, all y'all can do it. And I believe in you. Cool. So if there's anything that we did not address tonight, okay, and you still have questions on, or you get off of here and you are like, oh, I totally just thought of something, ask it, get in that thread, ask the questions. We're going to make sure that everybody gets from the airport to your proper hotels, A-OK. And then we're going to have some stinking fun, aren't we? We're going to have some fun. I think, Hannah, that's answered in the packing list from Ashley. So go look at that over. And if you still have questions on what to wear during those, then you can drop it in there. But for me, it's dress for every season, y'all, because the AC might be kicking, right? So just make sure that you have proper, layers, if you will. Cool. Awesome.